Well. Hello, everybody. Welcome. God, I got to get the intro music back.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting to do that. Ron, if you're listening, he was supposed to grab that for me. He's got that file. I don't have my laptop, the drops, all that shit is still boxed away. So wherever I had that and any cassette, literally would have been cassette with that music on it.
Yeah.
So, but Ron was like, yeah, I can rip that for you. I've got those files.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, so it'd be easy enough to do. It sounds weird coming in dry, but
Yeah.
anyways, hello.
What's going on?
How are you? You look great.
Oh, yeah. I feel great. I'm good. I'm going with only one headphone today because I got this little guy pierced right here. I don't know if you can see it, kind of sparkling, but like the inner part of your ear. It hurts like a bitch to have a fucking headphone in my ear right now. So
really?
I had it in for
like
swollen? 2 seconds. It's not swollen, but it's like just butting right up against where that piercing is. Yeah. And I mean, it's like 2 days old. So it's just still kind of.
What made you do that? Did you get hammered or were you just like, no, I
don't know. Kelly walked over. I was chilling in the hot tub in Florida and Kelly walked up to me and she's like, do you want to go get a piercing today? I want to get this. She got the same thing done, but hers was already done. It was just closed up. So they just had to stick a needle through it and it opened right back up. So we both went into this piercing place by my mom's and got piercings really quick.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. How was Florida? Fun?
Florida was good. Nice. My mom and my sister are listening right now from Florida.
Oh, no.
Kelly's still down there. So
yeah, I don't blame her. Stay there, Kelly.
I know.
Yeah. What is it like? I was looking at the weather because I love to do that and just see, because it's 88 and sunny here. Yeah. And I think it's like 38 there.
Yeah. Today sucked.
Yeah. It doesn't look like it's great tomorrow either. No. It breaks my heart for you guys. I'm just bummed. I'm so
all
bummed.
Of you.
Yeah. I was golfing this weekend.
Oh,
did a little golfing. Go? Yeah, it was good. I got 12 holes in.
Oh, okay.
Before my back was just like, yeah, nice try.
Yeah.
Nice try. So it was good though. I shot a 44 on the front, like a legit one. I had one tee shot that I skull fucked into the woods or something. I was like, that doesn't count. And so like my brother counts all those. Like he shot in the 30s and it's a legit, but me, I'm like, no,
that one doesn't count.
Nobody saw that. So, but it was good to get out in the sun and, try and get a little color,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, that was fun. And then I got my hairs cut.
I can today. See that. Yeah. It looks nice.
Yeah. So I went with no hat. I had a lease. One of the warden's friends, was just over here, did a little snip. That was great.
Nice. There you go.
So
the warden doesn't cut hair.
No. I don't think the warden would probably slip and slice my throat.
Right.
If she was doing it. Like, oops, warden, that's the 4th time you've almost slit my jugular. What are you doing? I don't know. It gets slippery. Whoops. So, but
that's my mom right there.
Oh, hi, Victoria. There she is. What am I? It's like I'm invisible to these people. Everyone says hi to Amy.
I know.
Christ's sakes. Well, hello to you too, Victoria. Congratulations on having 4 hot daughters. That is unbelievable. What are
the odds?
Yeah. And smart ones too.
Yeah. You'd think one of them would be the redheaded stepchild, but we're all,
This is interesting. This is an interesting thought I just had. So I just mentioned the warden's friend, Elise, cutting my hair. And I have worked, this is the first time I've done consistent shows with a female. And you're just like, yeah, cool. Elise cut your hair. That's cool. There's not a chance in hell. Troy, Jay, E, Drew, Mike Clark, Mark Fell wouldn't go, what'd she look like? Is she hot? Not a fucking chance. There's not. Greg Henson, first thing out of his mouth. She hot? What's the deal?
Oh, that's so funny.
100%. Victoria, am I right? You're just like, yeah, it's cool.
That is so funny. Oh my God. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
And so true.
So true. You're just like,
So
yeah,
true.
whatever, dude.
Didn't even cross my mind.
No. You
Like,
probably, my lead up to that, you were probably like, where's he going with this?
Yeah.
Where's he going with this?
Yeah. And you were probably thinking like, she's definitely going to ask me if she was hot.
I didn't think about it until you didn't ask me. It didn't cross my, it's just like, yeah, you mentioned someone's name. Like, oh, I saw this chick. Was she hot?
Oh my God. That
Was she hot?
So funny.
Like, that's just what 30 years I've dealt with that.
Yeah.
You cannot mention, you can bring up your own mom and it's like, well, I mean, I know it's your mom, but would others? Is she hot to others? Like, that's just the natural progression. And so for you to just let it ghost on by is refreshing. For the record, Elise is very beautiful. She is hot. She's got one aspect about her that makes her, that would be a complete turnoff to most men, I would think, and women. She's a Chiefs fan.
Oh, okay.
Which is just like such a deal breaker on so many levels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But other than that,
like, is she a legit Chiefs fan, or is she like a Taylor Swift fan and she loves Kelsey?
No. She's. Thank you, Michael. Hi, Amy and Mike too. Thank you. And of course, I get second billing. Thank you. Hi, Amy's mom. See, that's what a guy does right there. Hi, Amy's mom. There's a motive behind that message right there. Hi, Amy's mom. He doesn't even know what your mom looks like. Doesn't matter.
And this is my mom. They take after their mother when you said that she raised 4 hot daughters. So in case you're wondering if there's, that's just my mom. That's my mom right there.
Yeah. I can't remember what we were about to say before someone said hi, but it doesn't matter.
We were talking about the hairdresser being a Chiefs fan.
Oh, yeah. No, I think she's originally from, if I have my story straight, I believe her family comes from Kansas City.
Okay.
So I think she's, I had posted online, like, the one good thing about the Eagles, because I hate the Eagles, obviously. The one good thing was we didn't get a 3. I don't want the first 3-peat to be the Chiefs. Like, I wanted my Niners to do it. The Cowboys couldn't pull it off. The Steelers didn't pull it off. Nobody's pulled it off. I didn't want it to be the Chiefs. And I posted that. And she was like, hater. And so I was like, oh, shit. And she was like, oh, yeah, our family's from Kansas City. So that's how I know that. So I don't think it's not like a Taylor Swift thing. But
well, that's okay then.
Yeah.
I'll allow it. There's worse things than being a Chiefs fan, I suppose.
Yeah, there are. But, during the season, I don't know. I haven't grilled her enough to know, like, if she's like X's and O's about the Chiefs, or if it's just like, it's my hometown team. I don't know.
Right.
So anyway, a lot going on. I did want to mention out of the gate, and maybe I can pull this up because I believe it's here. I want people to be aware of this. Maybe it's not. Maybe you can pull it up.
What?
The Radio Hall of Fame has open nominations this year to public input. I mentioned that on Facebook, and thank you all for responding. But I know there's a lot of you that listen that are not on Facebook. And that's new. They don't usually have that open. And I think it'd be really cool. The Drew and Mike show is not in the Hall of Fame, the Broadcast Hall of Fame. The Opie and Anthony show is not in there. If those two shows went in together, would be fitting. I feel like, such huge talent, they made their mark in their markets, in New York and in Detroit, undeniable in Detroit. And it's super easy to fill it out. If you just go to radiohalloffame.com, it's right there. So just put Drew Lane, Mike Clark, just fill out 2 things, take 2 seconds. And
radiohalloffame.com/nominate. It'll take you right to that page.
Even the home page will show, it's easy enough. But write them in a little bio, I think I just put on the air for #1 show for 22 years in Detroit. I didn't need to do it's just like a few words, but I think that would be really cool.
I mean, have AI write it.
What's that?
I said, have AI write
do it. Sure. No, it's funny. I texted Drew over the weekend and I told him that. He didn't have any idea. He didn't know it was a thing. And he's like, how did you, why did you say something? And I'm like, because you're too humble to say something and Mike's too dead to say something. So, but someone needs to, like, if people don't know, if they're not aware, and that's that like, maybe Drew will say something. I hope he does.
Mm-hmm.
It's not me that would go in. I worked on a show, and I've been telling Drew for 15 years, every time I see him, like, that's a Hall of Fame show.
100%.
That was like, it just is. It's a first ballot Hall of Fame level talk show. Yeah. And he always is gracious about it, and he just kind of changes the subject in true Drew fashion.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be really cool, man. We ended every single show with a big thank you, Detroit. Yep. It'd be really cool for Detroit to say thank you back and write in Drew Lane and Mike Clark into that form. And, for me, it's self-serving to be able to say, hey, man, I spent my career on a Hall of Fame show is really cool, even though it's not me that would get a plaque. It's not me that would get shit. But I think, I have no problem speaking out for those guys. I hope in New York the same thing's going on for O&A. Totally deserve it.
Hey, you never know, Mike. You might get a plaque. It could be like the daytime Emmys where, if I'm remembering reading this story correctly, I believe the hosts of College Game Day got their Emmys taken away because when they hand out Emmys, I don't know if it's just daytime Emmys or what, they don't give it to the talent. They only give it to the people working behind the scenes. So ESPN made up like 6 fake producer names so they could get 6 additional trophies to give it to the Desmond Howards, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, whatever.
Yeah, interesting.
They ended up finding out about it and like went in to Lee Corso, Desmond Howard's house and took the Emmy back. It was in the news like a year or so ago.
That's ridiculous. First
Isn't that
off,
crazy?
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. So, I guess there's categories for these things. Like if it was Emmy nominated for its production or for its writing or something like that, where it wasn't talent based, I guess I could see an argument for that. Still seems silly.
I know.
Because I know people that have won Emmys and they have them, on their desk, like news people that I knew over the years that had won Emmys, they'll have them on their office. So I know like Super Bowl guys have trophies, but they had those made. Like they don't each get a Super Bowl trophy. They get the ring, obviously, but so I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, that'd be really cool if I got a plaque, but.
Can you see this? Is it sharing or no?
Yeah. Returns 37 Emmys.
There we go.
Disciplines employees. I can tell you right now that disciplines employees part behind the scenes, it never happened.
No. ESPN,
yeah, there were times.
ESPN has returned dozens of Emmys and disciplined decades-long scheme.
Really? Oh, decades long. So they were doing it multiple years.
Yeah. They more than 30 extra trophies for broadcast personalities who were ineligible to receive them.
Really? Identified a member of fictitious credits. Well, now why wouldn't you sorry, I don't know how to do. There we go. I don't know why you wouldn't just put down a bunch of EPs like Desmond Howard, executive producer, Kirk Herbstreit, executive producer. Like you could do that. Like why you would need to make up names. I mean, the amount of EP credits that are given out on movies and all that kind of stuff is kind of bullshit.
So it says,
so I don't know.
College Game Day scored 8 Emmys for best weekly studio show from 2008 to 2018. The broadcast personalities were until 2023 prohibited by guideline in a credit list for that specific category.
Wait, say that again. They were what?
They were prohibited by the guidelines from inclusion in a credit list for that specific category. The category being best weekly studio.
Okay. Okay, so they specifically
Kinda
broke
crazy,
the
though.
rules to do it. I mean, that's just silly.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
silly.
It's so
Yeah.
ticky-tacky.
And I don't
Like,
care
so stupid.
Yeah. And then they probably went out and had the company that makes the actual Emmys produce 6 of them for their staff, and they probably paid for them. ESPN probably paid for them anyways.
Right.
So
Right.
what does it matter, you know? And the fact is, just saying you were a part of something that is recognized as good. I mean, I have, you know, even as dumb as that is, you know, Best of Detroit, Metro Times. It's just, it doesn't have any monetary value. It doesn't, but it's just like, hey, people out there acknowledge that this was, but you know, Arthur Penhollow is in the hall, is in the Radio Hall of Fame, Broadcast Hall of Fame. There's a few of them that are in there, and Drew and Mike absolutely belong in there. So hopefully people will take the time to do that. I think we've made it as easy as possible to do that. Anyways, I wanted to get that out, and then we can get on with it. Some stuff. Did you see the leaked JD Vance on Elon Musk audio this morning? Audio clip claiming to be of our vice president, JD Vance, criticizing Elon Musk. And I have the call. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Ready?
Everything that he's doing,
play it for you.
He's getting criticized in the media, and he says that he's helping, and he's not. He's making us look bad. He's making me look bad. And I'll tell you this, and he wouldn't like it if I said it, but he's not even immigrant. He is from South Africa, and he's cosplaying.
He's not even an American.
He's this great American leader in a room that has the portraits of some of the greatest men that ever led this country, and he has the audacity to act like he is an elected official. I am an elected official. I am the important one in this situation, not him. So if he wants to tank the economy and his cars, maybe that's what he deserves.
That's some good AI there.
It's not bad, right?
Yeah.
It's not bad as far as AI goes. I can't imagine JD Vance going, I'm an elected. If he wants to tank the economy as an unelected, well, I was an elected. Like that doesn't. You missed his cadence.
He's saying, oh, he's from South America. He's not even from here. JD Vance is saying that.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. William Martin, the vice president's communications director, said the audio recording is fake, most certainly not the vice president, along with a post, a link to that post, which was deleted, not all of them, though. The quality of the audio is very poor and distorted. There's no source or context given. No explanation is offered as to why a random social media account would have a confidential recording of the vice president speaking in an incredibly unlikely situation. Many recordings are clearly intended to be humorous, but this particular one shows little signs of that. Video appears to originate from the account Joselitalia on TikTok. That got 1.5 million views. It's probably gotten a lot more since I printed this story out.
Do you think that this, in situations like this, do you think the Secret Service is just making a house call to that guy and hey, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't know.
Or do they just say, take it down? What's going on here?
Probably not, because the Secret Service is going to make a call when you're calling for any level of violence. Historically they would. I don't know if they did the last 4 years, but historically that's what they would do. It could be really minor too. But
yeah, well, I mean, shit. I think Trump sent the Secret Service to talk to Eminem.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. He said it in his song, he said he sent the Secret Service to see if he's really a threat to Donald Trump, or if it's just words.
See, I don't think those guys individually are that in the weeds on that stuff. I don't know. I mean, it makes it better in a song to be like, Donald Trump sent me. I don't think Bill Clinton sent the Secret Service to talk to Jamie Samuelson You know what I mean? Like that's a tip comes in or is picked up, however it's picked up, and then they have local agents go over and talk to people. Eminem could be a different story. I mean, that's an international level. That would still surprise me.
It really wouldn't surprise me. I could see, like, Eminem has not made his hatred for Donald Trump. He doesn't hide it. It wouldn't surprise me if Donald Trump was like, send a few agents to scare him.
Yeah. Would you go knock on his door?
Yeah.
Knock on his door, say hello. Yeah. See what old Slim's up to these days.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe. I love this article too. The Josa L'Italia TikTok account frequently shares videos which have a critical tone of President Trump. Frequently, you mean 100% of the time? Is that what you mean? Because you don't mean frequently, as if there's, it's hit or miss. Sometimes it goes this way. Sometimes no. We all recognize these accounts. Who are the gay guys? The twins or whatever. The Krasensteins.
The Krasensteins or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, some of these shared videos have a critical tone. Oh, is that what that is? A critical tone?
Yeah.
Are they a little on the fence about some pending, like no, it's just a 100% of the time, whether it's Josa Kalita or the gay brothers, like you're just constantly in a state of just shit. That's what you're doing.
Right.
What people are saying. And this is where the problem comes in. One person said, with the rise of AI, I don't know what to believe. JD Vance came out himself and said, it's fake AI generated clip. I'm not surprised this guy doesn't have the intelligence to recognize this fact, but I wonder if he has the integrity to delete it now that he knows it's fake. If not, could be defamation. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
So
see, that's what I mean. Like with the defamation thing, like, I don't know. Does the Secret Service go over there and like, hey, why the fuck are you doing this?
Yeah. Would you like to see some suits filed?
Yeah, I think that the AI voice thing, we're heading down it's a scary path. And
yeah.
I remember I had a work conference like last year, and my boss just sent me a message. She said, hey, we're compiling, these voice notes of welcoming people to the conference. So can you just send me a voice note that says, hey, welcome to Nashville, welcome to the blah, blah, blah conference. And so I sent it. It was like a 4-second clip. And at the conference, there was this whole session on AI, and they had like the people who had sent in these clips, they had read out voices to say all these crazy things. And, with your voice being out there, and I mean, shoot, I mine now they can it doesn't have to be out there much at all for them to
20 seconds.
Yeah. And it's scary because they can make you say a whole lot of bad stuff. And
I wonder if there's going to be a way to get behind the scenes and be like, no, this is a weird spot we're in. And I think part of the, defamation, but by definition is the act of communicating false statements about a person that injure the reputation of that person.
And knowing that they were false.
Right. So there's libel, there's slander. So libel is defamation through writings. Like if you post, blogging, articles, that kind of stuff. Slander is on a podcast. You say something with your voice. That's those things. This article that I read this from, while it says, they include what some people are saying and this and that, and it kind of gets in there and it's got the headline, is leaked JD Vance audio on Elon Musk real? What to know? So it leaves some ambiguity there. Right. And knowing there's a lot of people that are dying to just read it, blow through headlines. It's how people are consuming stuff. Newsweek knows exactly what they're doing when they put this out and then have all this kind of stuff. And it's kind of ambiguous. Some people are saying this. And I think about it like, no, Newsweek, your job is to find credible sources, do some truth seeking, find out, know the facts, and then you print. Then you go to print with a story. And if you want like the commentary world to make comment, this is where it would open up to people like you and I then going, boy, this is going to be really dangerous as we go forward in the world of AI and the example you gave.
Right.
Like the commentary world gives their 2 cents on what would be capable. What's the worst case scenario? How do you see nefarious people using this going forward? But it's, Newsweek is supposed to report the news, and what they're doing is muddying the waters when it's really easy to clean this up. Like you started laughing halfway through it. For the first 8 seconds of that clip, I was watching your reaction. Like, where's this going? And then there were a couple moments in there where you're like, okay, this is. Like, I could see it on your face that you picked it up.
Yeah.
But, there's people that I know 100% will pick that up. Like, I hear comments from certain people that will say stuff like, oh, that fucking weird couch fucker JD Vance. Like they're so desperate to believe that this will just be another thing. Like, chalk that away as fact.
Yep.
And it's like,
for sure,
damage done. But I don't know what you do with that, And the reason I take issue with Newsweek and the way they word this kind of stuff is regular people don't have the access to powerful people that you do. Like, there used to be some credibility that came with reporting on behalf of Newsweek. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a thing that, Bill Mahalski in the town pub can spit it out there, but no one believes him. But dude, I read it in Newsweek.
Yeah.
Like, used to hold something. Right. And so it's like, you guys still technically have a job to do, in reporting, what's real. Like, that headline should be totally different.
It should be like, fake JD Vance audio, makes the rounds on the internet. Yeah, exactly. AI generated, JD Vance, Elon Musk clip, taking the web by storm. You know what I mean? That makes it very clear. But no, they include the clip and then say what they're going to say. But I don't know what you do. This is going to be weird. I think Troy and I, probably even Jay and I, used to talk about this. Like, it's going to be impossible sooner than later, because I've seen what they're doing with the videos and it's incredible. Give it a year, give it a week and see where they are with that shit. Like, you're going to be able to cheat on your spouse and just be like, AI. I know it looks. I know it looks like I'm balls deep in the neighbor down the road, but It's AI.
I don't know how they're doing it, but they are. They're good. They're getting real good. That looks just like me.
Yeah, between gaslighting and AI, we're in for a real treat.
Yeah, AI even picked up on that mole on my ass cheek. Who knew? They're really good at this.
Really good.
I mean, that's just so. I don't even know how society's going to deal with it. Because if you think it's good now, barring a meteor strike, like, you were in the compound interest days of the rapidness of what's going on. Like,
have you seen that video? Kelly showed it to me over the weekend, but it's two AI bots talking to each other. Like, think of, two hotel vacation reservation bots, one's on a computer, one's on a phone, and they're talking to each other like, hey, do you want to book a hotel room? And the other one's like, I can't, I'm a bot. And then when they realize, like, oh, you're a bot, do you want to switch to bot language? And then all of a sudden it's like,
oh no,
and they just it's like, oh man.
Well, dude, it's like the what were the stories that came out about ChatGPT, and what are they on now? ChatGPT 3 or 4? But coming out with 3, ChatGPT 2 knew number 3 was coming, and it meant, oh no, they're not gonna need me anymore once they get to 3. And started to change its code so you couldn't delete him. He knew his days were numbered. He fucking knew. ChatGPT 1 or 2, one of them was like, oh no, they're gonna try to run me out for a hotter, younger version. Oh no. And started to sabotage the other one.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't think that this ends with a full out war with robots, I mean, that's obviously where this is going. And as I've always mentioned, you can catch me at Travis's house. That's where I'll be.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Dude, I Grok is interesting to me. Have you been using Grok yet?
Yeah.
I don't use Google anymore. Google is too I know it does the AI generation at the top thing too. I find Grok better, and Grok, it's just an app. I don't think you need to be on Twitter or X to use Grok. I just have it as an app.
Oh, and okay. So it has its own separate app then?
Yeah, it's got its own app, and it's fucking dope, dude. It's amazing, but it talks to you like a real person, and you can ask it to be an asshole and be sassy. Yeah. Like you can custom it all out. Mm-hmm. But it asks follow-up questions. Like I had something I was dealing with. I was like, hey, should I get this looked at, or whatever? And it was like, well, I had a rash that I had on my ankle. I think it was medication related. And they're like, go get this cream, make sure it's this. And you should be good. But if it's this or that, if it does this for more than a few days, maybe call your doctor. And like it gave this really in-depth kind of breakdown. It was really cool. And then it kind of asked a follow-up question like a buddy would, like a friend would. And I was like, I started to respond and I was like, no, you're not a person. I'm not talking to you about no. But it's like in like 2 days, I was like, I wonder what Grok's doing right now. I don't want to drink alone. What are you up to, Grok?
That's so funny.
Like there's no way this thing's not if you're like just close to the line mentally,
right?
There's no way that's not your new best friend.
Right.
No fucking way.
Right.
He's there all day, all night, whatever.
Yep.
Always available, just like, we partying? Cool, let's go. Ask me anything.
Oh,
vent.
Man. We were showing my mom how to use ChatGPT over the weekend because my sister got her the worst gift quite possibly ever. And every day my mom gets emailed a question about her life and she's supposed to answer it. And then at the end of the year, it's supposed to make it into this like book, which hypothetically is a nice thought.
Like a question like what? How tall are you? Or like what?
No, like who was your first boy? Who was your first love? Like,
dude, that's really cool. You can get a book like that your mom fills out.
That's what it is. That's what
it's the book. But, okay. Very cool.
Yep. Okay. It is cool. My mom is so half-assed. All right. She is not doing this. She's already asked for like 2 extensions on it. So finally she's like, maybe I'll use ChatGPT to help me write this book. And so the first one that my mom could not do on her own was like, describe the day you were born. And so my mom puts in ChatGPT, describe the day I was born. I was 3 pounds. My dad said I was the ugliest baby he's ever seen. And so it's like, it was a cold, wintry day. My mom was born in fucking June. I mean, she plugged like 0 information into this thing. And I was like, Mom, you have to like give it a little bit more than just the bare bones if you want it to produce. So we're going to have a whole AI book eventually at the end of it all.
Yeah, I would think AI would be like, well, let's look at the city on that date in history.
Yeah, but my mom didn't provide a date.
Oh, yeah.
She literally said, write a story about me being born. I was 3 pounds and the ugliest baby. There was no other information. Not where, not the date, nothing.
Oh, God.
That's what I told her. I was like, Mom, if you put the date in there, they'd be able to check the weather. Maybe it was a rainy summer day. You never know.
Yeah.
You got to put that info in there.
And AI can figure that out if you provide a date, dummy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like basics. How about a date? How about we start there and just see what it comes up with?
And see, that's why she can't write the book on her own, because it would be so half-assed. Like her recipes will be like, a little bit of butter, some salt. And it's like, what the fuck does that mean? What are you even saying?
Yeah, that's really funny. Well, I thought of that book. It's funny you bring that one up, where it asks those questions like, stuff about being in grade school and your first boyfriend and first time you went on a date. Yeah. And you're supposed to hand fill it out. Like, I went out with Bobby from, I got a Valentine from Bobby. And it's funny, I've been watching these videos on like TikTok, they pop up, and I'm sure you've all seen them. They just crack me up though, when it's like, you've got a dad and a son standing there, and it's kind of man on the street style. And they'll be like, so what's your son's birthday? And the dad's like, fuck. And like 18-year-old son is standing there like, dude, you don't know my birthday? Like, what's your son's current girlfriend's name? And it's like, shit. Dad rattles off like 8 names. None of them are the girl. Like, knows nothing. He knows nothing. And what are your allergies? And he's like, no, my son doesn't have any. He's like, I'm allergic to this and that. Like, and then the mom comes in and she's just like, bang, bang, bang. She's got it all down. She knows everything. And I thought it was just me, that was like, God, I'm so selfish and self-absorbed. I don't know shit. Like,
yeah.
Like I was saying the other day, like my mom's not like a human woman. She's mom.
Right.
Like,
right.
Her life started when I was born, and then she's just catered to me. Like That's her role. And so that book came up, and I actually sent it to myself, not the book, but the link. Mm-hmm. And like, you know what? That'd be kind of cool to send her one day and just be like, fill this out. And then,
yeah, it depends what kind of personality your mom is. Kelly did not read The Room and got this book from my mom. And it's like, it weighs on my mom that she has to fucking do this. It is like the worst gift in the entire world.
Yeah.
Her.
Well, if you remember,
but your mom might enjoy it. She seems like a nice lady. Not that my mom isn't nice, but
yeah, no, my mom did that interview on herself with my grandfather about his time at Pearl Harbor and it being bombed.
Yep.
Like she did that on her own. No one asked her to do that. So she gets it.
Like it.
She'd probably, yeah. And it was like, what do you get people that they already kind of have what they need, and so it's like I could send her flowers, but. It's kind of giving them a homework assignment, but
it is totally. It is very, very much a homework assignment, but your mom might like it. We're getting a lot of these. I figured you might want to address it. We're getting
Garrett,
comments.
Super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Did Garrett get sent to the train station? No. Oh no, I hope Garrett hasn't been taken to the train station. No. Where's Garrett, you shitbag? Sorry, you know what? I'm just seeing these now. I'm not avoiding these at all. And it's 1R, Dan.
Come on,
G-A-R-E-T. Garrett is great. I talked to him earlier today. The reality is we are going later now, and Garrett has a real job. Ronnie Pickering's knuckle sandwich, yes. And so he can't do the late night stuff. So I talked to him today. And honestly, guys, what I need is someone more behind the scenes to load stuff. Garrett's been a tremendous help for me. But I really get the vibe that Garrett wants to do more, talk more. And that's not what I needed him for this show. And so I will still have Garrett on. I kind of think of it like, back on my radio days, if Mike Clark missed a day, Mark and I would kind of slide over and be way more prominent for the day, and then we'd slide back out. And that's kind of what I always thought with Garrett. Like, hey, third mic means something to me. First, second, third mic means something. And that was my intention with Garrett all along. And I know, when Troy left and I was packing up, and it was like Garrett was a godsend between him and Eric coming over and helping out. But Garrett has some cool ideas of things he wants to do with, he wants to do some kind of man on the street. I think he'd be great at it too. Like, and we were talking about, you should go to one of those Tesla protests. Cause Garrett does not give a fuck. He doesn't care and can ask questions. He knows what he's talking about. He's a smart kid. And he really wants to get into some conspiracy theory stuff.
Nice.
But ones that people aren't talking a lot about. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, dude, you can totally be our boots on the ground correspondent kid. If you get a good segment, blah, blah, blah. And then when I do earlier shows, you'll be the first call I make. So that's kind of where that sits. But no, Garrett has not been sent to the train station. But I know it's stupid. I fucking hate doing early shows. And for me out here to do it when it fit in Garrett's window, I'm doing it at 2:00 in the afternoon, and it just feels off for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't hate doing it at like 6 a.m. That's doable, even though I hated that. That feels more normal, or later. And when I feel like
right smack dab in the middle of the day is annoying.
Yeah. It
just throws your whole day off.
Yeah, it does. So That's where that sits. But no, Garrett is not in trouble. He has not been sent to a train station, anything like that. Getting on other stuff, I actually perused the Free Press today for the first time in quite a while. It's a great article in there about the '84 Tigers. And it's a whole story about the woman who was the photographer for the Tigers, took like the infamous shot of Gibby when he hit the home run against the Padres.
Yep.
And, was like the only photographer to get that shot. She had all these special pictures, but one of them is like 84 Tigers going at spring training in Lakeland. And it's like Chet Lemon, Lou Whitaker, Alan Trammell, and Lance Parrish. And Lance is holding a baby tiger. And it's kind of climbing.
I saw that photo. Yes.
Yeah. And it's a whole story about how that after that photo shoot, Milt Wilcox, the pitcher for the Tigers, who's at one of their pitchers in the World Series, won a big game. I think 1-0. And he like went up to that tiger and stuck his hand in its mouth. And she starts freaking out. Like, if that even a fucking baby tiger had clamped down on the right-hander's pitching hand, like all the players like freaked out. We're just like, dude, playful kitten, sort of, but a tiger nonetheless. And they don't show a picture of it, but it was just, it's kind of a cute story about that. And I think there's a book coming out on the '84 Tigers that a lot of those guys are involved in. It's kind of cool. But then I ran into Scott Talley's article. After a recent MSNBC program cancellation, Detroiters are still talking about Joy. And it's about the loss of Joy Reid.
No, they're not.
Some of them are. And it's kind of disturbing, honestly. And it's set up like a story, and they go back to, Bowling for Dollars on WDIV in Detroit for years, and how it was a huge show back in the days when you recorded stuff, or you couldn't TiVo stuff. So you watched it live. So people made plans around what was on at night. And it's like, oh my God, people would rush home, and kind of trying to compare it to that, like people rushing home to listen to Joy Reid on MSNBC. So when a program that manages to make such an intimate connection is canceled, there are bound to be some Detroiters that take the news hard, like being struck by the proverbial bolt of lightning. And with March being Women's History Month, the feelings reverberate even stronger. Such was the case early during the week of February 23rd, when media outlets, including USA Today and the Free Press, reported that MSNBC had canceled The Read Out, hosted by Joy Reid, which had held down MSNBC's weekday 7 p.m. slot since July of 2020. And so then they interview a bunch of ladies from Metro Detroit about this day, including Nancy Johnson. I was listening to radio 92.3 WMXD. Yeah, I bet you were. Yeah, it seems like the radio station you'd listen to. Yeah. A Joy Reid fan would check out 92.3.
Yeah, exactly.
I was listening to radio in my car when I heard Joy Reid's show had been canceled, and I had to do a double take. I tried to make it home by 7 every day to tune in to Joy, and my heart dropped. I'm saying to myself, are you serious? Canceled for what? Because she's black. Powerful woman who speaks her mind and lets people know the truth.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Wait, I think Nancy actually believes that.
Nancy 100% believes that. Nancy Johnson, you say?
Yeah.
Nancy Johnson,
she's sure 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes on. Of course, she doesn't. And she further explained how Joy exposed the truth, like she did with Project 2025. Joy broke it all down in layman's terms. Her time at MSNBC was a job well done. I know she's headed on to another positive journey.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. There's a new black woman that's going to be in that slot that you can still listen to.
I would ask Nance, doesn't she think it's weird that the station that hired the black woman would then have to fire the black woman? Like, doesn't that seem weird? Like, maybe there was another reason.
And then replaced her with like 3 minorities.
Yeah. Like, wouldn't it make more sense that maybe the black woman did something else that helped this along? as opposed to just her skin color and her sex, which is why she was hired in the first place.
Right.
Kimberly Harrington, we keep hearing about DEI this and DEI that, and how it's all going to be taken away. And with the cancellation of Joy's show, it's like they did it in our face without providing an explanation. No, they absolutely provided an explanation.
Yes. And anybody with, I don't know, eyeballs, ear holes could see the writing on the wall.
By the way, if you say they're talking all about DEI and how they're going to make it go away, and then they shit can Joy Reid right in our face, doesn't that mean that she would have been a DEI hire? That's not the flex you think it is. Because that's saying that Joy Reid got there on a diversity, inclusion, equity, and inclusion thing. And I would think Joy would take extreme exception to that.
I see no lies. No lies told.
But didn't she just receive an award? NAACP Image Award. Just before her show was canceled? How can you do more than to be great? And she delivered the news like Walter Cronkite and Barbara Walters back in the day.
It's offensive.
I feel a sense of betrayal, and I'm done. They're all done with MSNBC.
Okay.
But what really hurts is that my 7-year-old granddaughter doesn't get to see someone like her anymore in that space. But at the end of the day, she fulfilled her mission, and now I'm following her on Instagram. Here's the reality, Kimberly, for folks like you and Nancy. She had 1.4 million viewers before the election in November. And that dropped 47% after that. And also, there was a date, February 20th of this year, she had 59,000 primetime viewers. Okay? 59,000.
That is wild.
So none of y'all black women tuned in and watched. Therein lies the problem. You got Rosaline Denning, who on the eve of February 23rd circulated a message via group text announcing an emergency Zoom call in support of Joy Reid, hosted nationally by Win with Black Women and Win with Black Men, as news about the cancellation of the readout was beginning to spread. I was very impressed by her at some symposium I saw her at, blah, blah, that carried on. What she did with Project 2025 when she devoted an entire week to explaining what it's really all about was awesome. When I think of Joy Reid, I think of a true fact finder and journalist who backs up what she says by digging and doing her homework. And then she puts the information out there for everyone to see.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem, ma'am. I don't mean to be rude and I don't mean to break your heart. Joy Reid lied to you every day for a week.
Yeah, right.
And made you falsely believe that Project 2025 was a Trump thing and a giant boogeyman. Most people, she did the same thing, by the way, with Russiagate and COVID for all her fact finding and research. That really was the problem. And when you lie to an audience and they go, oh shit, they stop watching. And therein lies the problem. We've got Sharon Davis. I thank Joy Reid for her service and unwavering commitment as a political commentator and journalist. You can't wipe away her contributions. We've seen this before. I remember a time when we didn't have any black journalists on the air. Before Carmen Harlan, one of my students at Mumford High, was one of the first when she started at Channel 4. And we had Doris Biscoe and Diana Lewis. As black people, the question is always, who's going to tell our story? When I was growing up, I learned our history in church and in after-school programs, and we may need to go back to that again.
Okay. Go right ahead.
Yeah. There's plenty of black women out there telling their stories.
Yeah, what?
I would start with the truth, though. That's really like
she should check out Candace Owens.
Yeah.
I bet they'd love her.
Not that black woman.
Oh, so she doesn't tell the right story, right?
Yeah. Yeah. She doesn't tell the story the way I want to hear it or the way I already know it to be true.
Right.
They all picked up on this Project 2025 horse shit. Every one of them kind of mentions this week of Project 2025 and the truth.
If they just wanted to come to a meeting, they could just reach out. We'd welcome them with open arms. I mean, we have guest passes we can hand out.
Yeah, we'd welcome him in with open arms. The fact of Project 2025 is, and we've kind of broken this down too, it's 900 pages long. It goes back to the Heritage Foundation? Is that who puts that out? And they've put it out multiple times.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the jerk off dream list for like hardcore conservatism, the people that are not in the majority of conservative thinking or reality based about, making gay marriage illegal or, abortion bans, all that kind of stuff is in there. There's a lot of shit in there, but it's also got a lot of conservative projects, thoughts, dream projects on it. And so
there's going to be some crossover.
There's going to be crossover. You're 100% right. And so when you talk about, well, what else is in Project 2025? Well, the need for a secure border, okay, which is literally what won Trump the election. So that kind of stuff is in there. And then some stuff that you and I would go, dream on, losers. What are you talking about?
Right.
And again, it's connected to, this group and this former aide and that former conservative leader and this former, like, it's just a hodgepodge of people. None of us ever took it seriously. And
of course not.
And so, but these people were banking on this. You get this message over and over.
Yeah.
These people wanted to believe that they were at war. They were at war with women. They were at war with people of color. And this is proof. And, so now it's so easy then to go, yeah, Project 20. Well, look at this. This was in Project 2025, just like they said. Right. And it's like,
I bet more liberals have read the 900-page Project 2025 book than conservatives have.
Mm-hmm.
I can actually almost guarantee it.
Yeah, I started to read some of it just to know what's in there because I'd laugh at it too, honestly. Yeah. Like, I don't have any problem, but it was just like, oh, this is too much even for me.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. It goes on and on. These people, here we go again. They're trying to silence another one of our voices because some people can't handle the truth or how she slices the truth. It's this big slight, to Black women. And the fact is, Joy Reid is a lawyer. Joy Reid is well-spoken. Joy Reid knows exactly what Joy Reid was doing.
Mike.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt about it. The fact is, Joy Reid was brought in 2020. Okay. 5 years later, Joy Reid should have been able to ride that out for the remainder of her life. She should have been. All she had to do was highlight Black stories and Black perspective. She was, there's an outlet for that. That's great. You go and it's like, we're going to hear what the Black community fears with something. Like, if you wanted to do that, and that's kind of what your show does, we all cater to an audience in some way. But what Joy Reid was doing was bullshitting her audience every night.
Yeah.
That's the provable bullshit. And almost to like a mental case level, like mentally off. And I still to this day don't know if there were marching orders that they're taking at MSNBC. I don't know, but it was too easy to prove. And then when you did prove it, they still didn't denounce it.
No,
and go,
no, they're just a propaganda network.
Yeah. But they were bleeding viewers is the problem. Down 53% since 2024. And when they bring up these names like Cronkite averaged 17, 18 million viewers a night in his prime. Mm-hmm. And you look at, it doesn't have to just mean, oh, well, there's podcasts now and there's all kinds of other outlets. Some of that is true. Mm-hmm. Some of that is true. But you don't see it everywhere. Okay. Joy Reid, Rachel Maddow, when you find that they're full of shit, people don't keep going back to that. So you look at Jesse Waters in 2024. Okay. Jesse Waters is kind of annoying in his own right, but he was averaging 3.5 million viewers a night in 2024. Now 4 million. Okay. He's broken the 4 million mark. Right. So there are still eyeballs to be had for content. when you talk about 59,000 viewers in a February night, like, that's why your precious Joy Reid was blown out. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's why. They have to be able to justify, I mean, those kind of salaries. And I don't know what Joy Reid was making, probably millions a year.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, people get so emotional about things when I would just encourage people to put it in the context of your job and whatever it is that you do. Like literally, even if you make widgets for a living, you know, if you decreased your widget output by 50+% overnight and you lost half of your widgets, your boss would come to you and say, hey, widget maker, we're going to hire another widget maker because you're just not cutting it. Your output has decreased. Like, just think of it in logical sense, in whatever market you're in. That's just how the world works. If you're not performing, they're going to replace you. It has absolutely nothing to do with your race or the fact that you're a woman or anything. Do better and you'll have a job. It's like the simplest fucking thing in the whole world.
Yeah. And it's just too bad that like the immediate reaction, someone asks you, hey, what do you think of Joy Reid being off the air? And it's immediate. Every one of them had some level of, it's because she's a woman and she's black. It's like, well, no, some would make the argument she was hired because she's a woman and she's black. But nonetheless, she's well-spoken. She's not stupid. Joy Reid's not an idiot. She should be able to ride that into the sunset. But it's like, no, you just can't lie to people. You can't do it over and over. And when people started to see through that, like, oh, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
What I'm being fed is provably false. The audience checked out.
Yeah.
And that there's no coming back from that. Like, I remember thinking, you know, people are like, well, what does CNN need to do to get their credibility back? I'm like, fucking boot their primetime lineup. Like, I don't really have a problem with CNN's morning and day parts,
right?
Like where it's more news based. If Fox News was doing the same thing in their primetime lineup, you would blow them out. You just wouldn't. You wouldn't keep.
To be honest, I haven't watched Fox News since they got rid of Tucker. So
yeah, I know. I
really don't.
I've had it on in the background here and there, but yeah, it's not where I'm going either.
Instead.
Yeah, YouTube's the way to go. And believe me, there's plenty of black voices out there. I mean, Don Lemont's killing it. So
yeah.
I mean, so there's plenty of opportunity. And believe me, you'll be able to hear Joy Reid if you think she's going anywhere.
I'm shocked she doesn't have a podcast already.
I think she might. Does she not already have one?
I'm sure she does.
Yeah. Anyways, that was an article in the Freep today. Did you see the high school basketball coach?
I did.
Who pulled the chick's hair? Former high school basketball coach.
Yeah, former.
Jim Zulo. He's broken his silence after his firing, days removed from when he pulled the hair of a female player during a state championship game. He's 81. He was the coach at Northville High, and committed this despicable.
No, not our Northville, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I think they're in New York, maybe.
Gotcha.
Something like that, but Northville High School, yeah.
Okay.
This despicable act is the way they word it. Moments after falling 43-37 in the New York State Class D championship, the player who had her hair pulled was Haley Monroe. Appears to be in tears of the time of the incident. Zulo makes the hair pulling and starts yelling at Monroe before another player, appears to be the coach's niece, gets in between her and her teammate and the head coach. And then Coach Zulo yells at both of them. Do you want to pull the video up there?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Oh, man.
There's no crying in basketball.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can't do that.
Okay, first off, he's 81. They're lucky he's not dropping fucking N-bombs everywhere on the court.
100%. 100%.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think that this is the risk you take when you have a coach that is that old. But when it happens, you're gonna get the boot.
Yeah.
You cannot lay your hands on a student.
Look, I look at this. like a coach, it would be totally acceptable. Like if that was a male player with a haircut like mine and my jersey was out, grab you by the jersey and yank you back. But you guys give him this fucking almost begging to be pulled target off the back of your heads. You know what I mean? Like anytime I see a girl with a ponytail in a restaurant, I want to go, Whack. Like it's almost begging to be yanked. It just is. It's not right, but it is there. Like I want to yank yours right now.
Yeah, and if you're not paying attention, it's like, hey,
I want to do this thing, you know, where you tighten it. I want to do that to you right now, and I wouldn't mind tugging on it just a little bit. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I want to do that. And he's 81. This guy comes from the days when you just chucked chairs across the court.
Oh yeah.
Went ballistic.
Yeah, you slapping players and backhanding them. But
so
it's a big no. We take a lot of classes as coaches, Mike. That
do you really?
What we can and cannot do, and pretty sure that's on there specifically.
Yeah. That you can't pull a girl's hair.
Yeah.
I told the story of my football coach who he was just fucking laying it every day at practice. You fucking pussies, blah, blah, just going hard in the paint. And we were like, how old were we? 12, 13? I hadn't even hit puberty yet. I'm just a fucking wisp of a human being. And just you fucking pussies, like just laying into us. And it was like, finally we were telling like our parents, you know, like group parents in the neighborhood, and like, this guy's yelling at us all the time. And our parents didn't even swear at us. And it was like someone called, might have even been my mom. I don't remember, but called. And it was like, all right, well, we'll have a talk with him and blah, blah, blah. And the next day at practice was like, was it you, Sally? Was it you, Leslie? He's looking right at me. Was it you, Isabel? You fucking pussies calling your parents fucking man up, just screaming. And it was like, we made it 10 times worse. There was no getting it booted. He probably slapped a few of us. Like it was just, like he was the adult and he wanted the most out of us. He didn't care.
Yeah.
Like there was no video then. It was the word of an adult and a bunch of fucking 12-year-olds. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this Coach Zulu's son, Sam, had to share his father's statement. Yeah. Yeah. The 81-year-old's not killing it on fucking socials.
Right.
So he probably typed something at his typewriter and handed it to his boy, Sam.
For sure.
Get the message out. He's like, I deeply regret my behavior following the loss Friday night. I want to offer my sincerest apologies to Haley and to her family, our team, and the good folks at Northville Central Schools and community. As a coach, under no circumstances is it acceptable to put my hands on a player. I'm truly sorry. I wish I could have those moments back. I'm grateful for the opportunity to coach the girls at Northville the past couple of years, especially last season, which was a difficult time for our family. Poor guy. He's 81. Time to hang it up anyways.
Yeah.
Time to hang it up.
I will not be coaching at 81. I can tell you that much.
Hell no. Did you see that video and go, oh, that's a real problem? So I got to be honest. I played for enough coaches that screamed at me and, you know,
Mike, screaming. Screaming is one thing. Okay.
Yeah.
That's one thing. He literally grabbed her ponytail.
It's so grabbable. I'm telling you, if she didn't have the pony,
it's not like he walked up to her and he was like, boop, and he just like pulled it tighter and was like, you did such a great job, boop. Like he wouldn't have gotten it. It was more like, stop crying, and like yanks her head down.
Yeah. Like if he would have like snapped her bra, like I would have been like, yeah, that's crossing the line probably. Yeah. But the tug, I'm telling you, it looks so inviting. It looks so easy when you're just like, I need their attention. Like, grab the ponytail.
If it were a ponytail on a male athlete, a male basketball player.
Okay, there you go.
I don't think that he would have gotten fired. He might have gotten suspended, you know, might have had to sit a few games out. But I think the fact that it was a chick. It's just
okay. White kid with a ponytail, black kid with a dreadlock.
Hate crime.
Fired. White kid with a ponytail.
Brought before the, school board and get a public lashing. But white kid with a ponytail, I think he's good. I think he's good.
White male with a ponytail. Yeah. I don't think that's a problem. I think you could still do it to white kids.
Yeah.
But I swear, if he could have just as easily grabbed her jersey and yanked her back like that, which still technically would be touching her and pulling her. I don't have a problem with this. I think this guy's getting the raw end of the deal on this one. I'm siding with Zulo. Like I said,
Mike, we take a lot of classes, and
really,
it's just in the Wool book.
What do they? Where do they land these days on butt pats when you're sending a guy onto the field or a girl onto the field?
Well, that's a good question, Mike. I don't know. I guess I don't know what they tell the football coach if the butt pats are allowed. I reckon they probably are.
Like in football and baseball. Seem like that's just that's commonplace.
Yeah,
a pat on the ass.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen it in volleyball a lot, where you smack someone on the ass.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing that necessarily.
I don't know what the rules of engagement are between coaches and members of pom squads, dance teams, cheerleading. I don't know where
it's generally frowned upon.
You can't touch them at all.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No wonder we're screwed.
Yeah, we're getting soft.
What do they do if you get in their face and fucking mash them a little bit if they're talking out, or if you just like quick choke, like don't
just shake them a little bit.
Yeah, just fucking get in there and shake them real good. Just fucking listen to me, god damn it. Do they frown on? They frown on all that nowadays.
They generally frown upon that.
Yeah, I'm not going back. I'm not coaching at all.
Yeah, they're really big against like solitary confinement. Like, I remember having to take a really long session about that. Like, you can't confine a kid in like a solitary, and I'm just thinking like
in a cage.
What do they mean doing that? Like it was this big thing. It was very weird.
Do they mean like in a classroom or a bathroom or a cage?
Yeah, just any you can't confine them in a small space by themselves without like no shit.
Okay. Do they also include you can't hog tie them? You can't throw them in your trunk?
I know.
By the way, just so we're clear, you cannot kidnap any of the members of this squad.
Right.
All right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of the behavior I've seen from teachers these days between the toy community and, reckless teachers. I mean, a little fucking ringing the bell on a chick's hair ponytail. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
He's 81.
Yeah.
I think
I'd let that
time
slide
for him to hang it up.
Not to mention the girls only put up 37 points in a fucking state finals game. I mean, that's
they didn't perform. It's like,
what do you want the guy to do?
Right.
Honestly.
Exactly. And then she's crying about it.
Yeah. You put up 37, and I don't know what she did. What'd she do?
She probably put up 0.
I noticed they didn't put her game stats in the story.
Yeah. I saw. I noticed that.
I want to know if she was averaging 14 a game and 10 rebounds, and all of a sudden she puts up a deuce.
I bet she put up a goose egg.
Yeah, could be.
And she was crying about it.
Yeah.
Or maybe he pulled her. He didn't start her or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's out of bounds these days. Whatever. I don't know. Crazy ass world we're living in. Anyway, my coaches when I was 12 used to smack me on the back of the helmet with a whistle. Fuck, that reverberates through your whole head.
Mm-hmm.
It really hurts.
Oh, Triple G. Nice of you to pop in.
Yeah. People have asked me where he is. I texted him earlier. And I said, hey, fag, if you want to join Amy and me at 8, we'd love to have you. If you'd rather jerk off men, that's cool too.
Clearly, he chose the latter.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he's like
watching us while he does
work all day. Now he's
Hey, you know what? Triple G, I work all day too. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't really tell, but I worked today.
And let's be clear, he's watching you right now. He's not watching us right now.
Bad day to watch.
Snow White.
Oh boy.
And the Seven Dwarfs. I guess that's
dwarfs.
Out now. Dude, I love those. Do you ever watch those what are they like? They put music and sing to the comment section. Have you seen those TikTok videos?
Yeah.
Crack me up so much when the video stops and it's just frozen and the comment section goes nuts. Some of the stuff they're doing out there is so great.
Oh,
and I've seen some regarding Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and people are just hilarious.
Yeah, it's not going well.
Total bomb so far, apparently.
Total.
The live action remake of the 1937 animated classic was #1 at last weekend's box office. I don't know what that means. Honestly, I don't. While I went to a movie with G a couple weeks ago, it was horrible. It was a miserable experience. But he wanted to see some movie. We went to the, not the 4K, but the IMAX version. It was horrible. It's like, this is so much better in my living room. So I don't know what that means. If you're #1 at the box office, I don't know that means the same thing it did.
Well, no, especially when nothing has come out.
Right.
You're the only movie that comes out. That's not remarkable.
So $270 million production budget. Early projections had Snow White bringing in between 45 and 55 million.
Oof.
That would not have been good. So it ended up bringing in 43 million. So it didn't even hit.
And that doesn't even include the marketing budget. That's,
dude, that breaks the record. I remember Dumbo being panned in 2019. It held that title of biggest flop for a Disney live action or whatever, one of their releases with $46 million. It did worse than that.
Wow.
Cinderella grossed $91.8 million in 2015 against a $138 million budget. The Lion King brought in $191 million. Beauty and the Beast brought in $174 million. Mostly it's been trashed by critics. Currently has a 44 on Rotten Tomatoes. What do you make of it?
The thing is, listen, I love me a good Disney movie. And I saw Beauty and the Beast, but they've completely changed Snow White and what it's about. From my understanding, it's a completely different concept. And if you want to remake a movie, fine, but the movie is what it is. Okay. And so if you want to make a movie that is not that, it's a different movie. It's not Snow White. Okay. Yeah. So that's why people are irritated, because it's no, you're changing Snow White when Snow White is something specific. And it was their first movie in the 30s. And it's that means something to people. So when you redo it and you change everything, it's just make a new fucking movie. You don't have to remake it and just call it Snow White just so you can get the Snow White crowd in there. And then obviously the actress didn't make it any better. I mean, she's just about as insufferable as they come.
And when you say a 1930s movie and people have a certain thought about it, that's generational.
Right.
Okay. You're talking about movies like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1937. That is passed down from daughter to daughter. That's my great-grandfather or mother.
Yeah.
My grandmother watched this with me when I was 6. Those kinds of stories.
Yep.
And
people are very serious about Disney, by the way.
Oh,
don't fuck with Disney stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as they should be. You know what Disney built and put together over the years as wholesome family. It's it's an outlet where you can go if you're a parent with kids that no matter what, this is going to be doable. This is safe. It's going to be good. You've got Gal Gadot, Disney, and a classic fairy tale. That's a license to print money. It's a license to print money. I don't care who the director is. I don't care. You have the elements there.
And to give 7 dwarves a job.
Absolutely.
They missed the boat on that.
When your priority changes from just what it is, and your priority is sending a message that goes against the original message of the story, people see through that. And that's what you've got playing out here. I don't understand how Rachel Zegler or whatever, her coming out being it's such a dated story about this man who's obsessive about this check, and oh my God, we're not doing that. You're
yeah.
Oh, you mean the story that's beloved by generations of women? Believe me, men are not flocking to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Right.
You've decided, Rachel, yourself, basically in interviews, they had to take her off the red carpet and shit.
Yeah.
for these things, scared shitless about what she was going to say on an open mic.
Yeah, rightfully
what your
so.
star, like, that's insane.
It is.
It's malicious.
You know,
and
you know what I'm always struck by with Disney movies, though, Mike, and I need more of an explanation about it, is why it always centers around one dead parent or two dead parents. There's never two parents.
I wonder if Walt was an orphan or something, because there's definitely a storyline of orphans in all of them.
All of them involve a dead parent. It's crazy. Like, I'm trying to think of one that doesn't involve some type of missing parental figure. I can't think of one.
No. And that goes back, I mean, like all of them. Isn't that kind of the storyline in like all of them? I mean, I'm not a big Disney guy. I never was. But that's kind of what I think. But it's just such a, like, I don't understand why Rachel Zegler can't go put on a killer performance. I'm sure she's capable, with a fan base, and then use the greatness of the work you did in telling this story to further whatever stupid narrative. Like actors have done that forever. Use that as a launching platform to then go, hey, by the way, Honduras women are trafficked in an ungodly rate, whatever fucking thing she wants to get behind. And it's like, you have such a beloved following that they're willing to get on board with you and fight for you and stand for you. But like literally giving a middle finger to Disney, to the creators of this, like, it would be more of a stance to go, I'm not doing that. I disagree with blah, blah. Like, fine.
Like, why'd you take the job if you hated the part so much?
Yeah.
And you hated the movie. Like, why accept the job? So you could completely change it?
Yeah. And it's 7 roles, by the way, the dwarfs, that I don't really care about. I think they're dangerous little things, those, in general, seeing them off leash over the years is dangerous. You never know what the Ewok community is going to behave like. Like, it's just dangerous. But nonetheless, it still bothers me. You're talking about 7 gigs, but dude, that is like the holy grail for those guys. I would love to get Dinklage. I haven't heard from Dinklage since he like ruined those roles.
Yeah.
Can you
name the 7 dwarves?
Sneezy.
Yeah.
Dopey.
Yeah.
There's a Doc in there.
Yeah.
Is there a Smurfette? Is that one of them?
No.
Can you name them? Coffee, Wheezy,
Doc, Sneezy, Dopey, Sleepy, Happy.
Is there an Angry?
Angry.
Is there really?
Yep. And Bashful.
Bashful.
I think Bashful's one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that one of them has
But it would have been fun casting it. It would have been fun casting all those little dwarves. Like, are you Sneezy? Are you Sleepy?
Yeah. Are you Bashful?
Yeah.
I think there's a lawsuit. I think they filed lawsuit. I don't know if they're doing it in kangaroo court or a real court. I don't know where it's being filed, but I think there's some, like, they feel like they've been robbed of jobs. I think they're turning on Dinklage for his comments.
Like, okay, Dinklage, you're the only one little person that's allowed to work. Fuck you.
Yeah, and I think I did a smallish deep dive on Dinklage's career, and believe me, he was not above playing an elf at a time or two in his career.
Right.
And like, honestly, it's, this idea, it's like someone taking issue with the wizards in Harry Potter. Like, they're not real.
They're not real.
No one thinks dwarves are living in the forest.
Right.
Like, I mean,
and that animals can talk.
Right. Like the whole thing.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's a fucking magical world.
My thing is, most of them are not super talented actors. They take me out of roles.
Could they have found 7?
I don't know that they could have found 7. I think Dinklage does a great job. I can't take that away from him. Dinklage, it was great in Game of Thrones. Him, even being able to be a lead in some stuff is good. He was in that mafia kind of movie. that was fun.
Gary Coleman still around, or is he dead?
Coleman's gone. Yeah. Mickey on Seinfeld. Remember Mickey? Overacting son of a bitch. Like, it had some memorable scenes, but
yeah, right. Yes, I do know who you're talking about.
He would always fight with Kramer. Yeah. And some of those were pretty good, but there were some scenes where it was like, Mickey, you're taking me right out of this with your terrible overacting.
Yeah.
But some of the scenes were good.
Mini-Me, I think he's dead too.
Yeah, Vern Troyer.
Yeah, Vern Troyer.
He's no longer with us.
Yeah, I think they all might be dead.
Dwarf.
I think they all might be dead. Like, I think we're down to like 2. So I don't know that they could have cast the whole 7. You know?
The black dude from Bad Santa was pretty dope.
Oh yeah. I think he might be dead.
What's going on? Someone murdering our dwarfs? What's going on here?
I don't know. I might have made that up. Let me look.
Fake news.
Hang on.
That's hilarious.
That is funny.
This is just, it's so criminal. I hope Disney wakes up to some of this stuff, because having proven home run, like print money stuff, is just an automatic with what the creators of Disney over the years, over the decades, provided you. Like, here's the framework. It hits a home run every time. Just go with it.
Yeah.
And how you fuck that up with your political stance and wokeness. I mean, I can't think of a bigger like wokeness situation than that of Disney, honestly.
Tony Cox is his name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's dead though.
Well, he was a second ago. You killed him a minute ago.
But I mean, he's old for a little guy. He's 66.
Is he really?
And he's 3'6".
Do they measure them in dog years, or those? Is he 66?
I think so.
Human years.
Yeah, I think he does. I think they do.
Yeah. Interesting. He was good in Bad Santa, though.
Yeah, he could be a dwarf.
Do they have a black dwarf?
Well, I think you've got to open it up to the black dwarves, because I don't think you've got enough dwarves.
See, and I think that's
Tony
how you do
Cox
it.
Passed away.
Yeah, okay. But
no, it's like a Google search. He's not dead, though.
So he's not? He is, or he isn't?
He's not.
Okay. Which one of your roops is screaming back there?
He's such a little a-hole.
Yeah. Did you see Trump announced today that any nation that purchases oil from Venezuela will be hit with a 25% tariff by the United States?
Well, how about that?
Secondary tariff on Venezuela is in response to the country purposefully and deceitfully sending violent criminals to the United States. They began deporting these Venezuelan illegal immigrants to El Salvador. Dude, have you seen those videos?
I have.
They're fucking so sick. I love them.
I know.
Where they don't even let them stand up.
I know.
They're
They're literally they're bent over.
And then they just shave their heads and their beards and they're like, in the fucking hole you go, dude.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah.
This fight over this stuff is insane. He said, among the gangs they sent to the United States is Tren de Aragua, which have been given the designation of foreign terrorist organization. We're in the process of returning them to Venezuela. It's a big task. In addition, Venezuela has been very hostile to the United States and the freedoms which we espouse. Therefore, any country that purchases oil and or gas from Venezuela will be forced to pay a tariff of 25% to the United States on any trade they do with our country. That goes into effect April 2nd, which Trump has dubbed Liberation Day in America, when he's expected to make the reciprocal tariffs on American trade partners. Top destinations for Venezuelan oil exports include the United States, China, India, and Spain.
All right.
That is called flexing the power you have.
100%.
Because that will change some shit right there. Dude, do you even understand, and I know you do, or appreciate how insane that is? That these third world fucking countries emptied prisons and mental asylums and just said, go to America. The fucking floodgates are open.
Yeah.
Do you understand how insane that is? How insane it sounded when Trump was like, they're opening their prisons and sending murderers and rapists.
They're not sending their best.
Like that's like, even for me, who was like more inclined to give him the benefit of the doubt when he says something, was like, am I really supposed to believe that they're opening jails and just being like, if you stay here, we're going to fucking kill you. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Just knowing, it's I can't get over it. And seeing them now, like, it's insane. I didn't even know what Tren de Aragua was. I didn't know that was a thing until 6 months ago.
I know.
Like,
and I heard something, Mike, like they are at 0 border crossings right now. 0. That's how easy it was to shut the border down.
Yeah.
So if you don't think for a second that Joe Biden intentionally did this, boy,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I've got something else to sell you, because that is, I mean, it was so easy to fix. They could have fixed it, and they didn't.
I'm hearing this argument from people. I see it on Facebook. You know, it's usually bleeding hearts that are saying this a lot. Like, hey, whoa, we all want to get criminals and rapists out of our country, but there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it, you know. And Trump's team has just recklessly come in, and there's people that don't belong in there that are getting tangled up in there. And I'm finally to the point where it's like, hey man, Donald Trump didn't create this fucking mess we're in right now. He's left to try to clean it up. Okay. So spare me this idea of like, oh, let's get all our ducks in a row. There was a soccer player who just happened to have a bunch of face tattoos who got thrown in the. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry that happened. That sucks. Well, hopefully we can square that. In the meantime, can we get these 5,000 assholes out of here?
Right.
Doing
like one out of 5,000. I don't know. I'll take it.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's not everyone's it's not gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
You're gonna break some eggs.
Don't let perfection get in the way of great. Right? Is a saying something along those lines. And that's how I feel about this. Like, to me, I hear people make that argument, and I'm like, no, there is no right way to do this. You think this is cruel. You think this is wrong. If it wasn't this, it'd be something else. Like, no, you have proven. I've watched your fucking posts for the last 10 years. You have proven that you are not willing to give even the slightest benefit of doubt to anybody in Trump's administration, period. You're not. You see everything the worst possible way you can see it. Mm-hmm. It's all meant to be bad. It's all meant to be mean and evil. And so this is I was thinking the whole time, there is no remedy for this. How do you dump 20 million, 15 million illegals into a nation and then clean that mess up? Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah. You're gonna deport some people who probably shouldn't have been, but you know, you have the last administration to blame for that. Yeah.
I mean, I totally feel that way. And it's like, okay, you know, if you're going to live your life trying to find the 4 examples that you can point to, this is just a woman trying to feed her children and look what's going on. Like, you're going to find that when you're dealing with millions, like you just are. I'm sorry. You're going to be able to find an example here, an example there. And my guess is that'll get sorted out and worked out. None of us are evil in nature, but there is no way to go through the process and put everybody in front of a judge and really deep dive and find out exactly what level of gang member they were. Like, no, man. No. Sorry, you just can't do that when you're talking about millions of people. Be honest about it.
Right. Exactly. Oh man, Mike, I forgot to tell you, kind of got into it with my mom and stepdad over the weekend about the Department of Education, because they're both retired teachers.
Oh, I didn't know your stepdad was gay. Oh, that's cool.
Both retired teachers, and obviously very Democrat, both of them, despise Trump. So of course, as soon as I get there, my mom's like, well, what do you think about Trump, you know, in the Department of Education? I'm like, to be honest, Mom, I haven't looked a ton into it. And she's like, well, you know, my mom was a special ed teacher. Okay. And so she's like, well, you know, they're cutting the special ed department and all special ed funding. And I was like,
No, they're
Mom,
not.
I find that so hard to believe. Like, truly, I find that hard to believe. And I was like, and she's like, nope, that's what everybody's saying. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do some of my own
That's
research.
100% not true, but okay.
Right. So, of
Where's
course, I
this
found
going?
a clip of Trump that says, we're keeping Title I, we're keeping special ed, blah, blah, blah. So I show it to my mom because I'm like, you have to responsibly tell your special ed friends, not that her friends are special ed, but her
Right.
special ed teacher friends and Dave, my stepdad, you can't feed into their delusion and be like, yeah, he's cutting it. I've shown you a clip of him saying he's not cutting it. You need to be realistic about this. So then, of course, my stepdad starts going off about it. And I'm like, Mom, you need to stick up for me. I showed you the fucking clip. Yeah. And Dave's like, oh, I would never believe him, even if he did say it. And I was like, well, would you believe him if he said he was going to cut it? And he's like, well, and my sister goes, he just said, I hate that man. I just hate that man. And I'm like, oh man.
I know the media's trained you to do that.
Yeah, they can't control it.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing the ones about they're cutting the food program and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, that's being cut. That's being rerouted through the Department of Agriculture. Through the proper department. Same thing will happen. Think about it just on its face. They're cutting all special ed services funding.
Mike,
really?
Mike, that was literally my exact response to my mom. That face, those words, the whole thing. I was like, is that what you really think? You think Trump wants to cut special education funding? And
fuck the retards. Yeah. No one's paying for that. Like, really?
She goes, to be honest, Amy, I don't even know. And I was like, okay, Mom.
Well, I do. And
exactly.
It's you want to believe that really bad because it's
so bad you want to believe
whatever narrative. This is the problem that Joy Reid ran into. It's precisely these types of stories and the fear mongering that comes with that. Because I guarantee your mom, Victoria, and Dave are coming from a decent place.
100%. My mom doesn't want special education funding to be cut. It was her career. I mean, it's a special place, and mine too. I mean, my God, I recognize that that's very important funding.
Yeah. And all that's going to happen, the Department of Education, when you look at the amount of people that have been hired into that organization and the salaries they make should offend your mom and Dave. When you look at teachers, okay, a special ed teacher, I don't know what your mom was making, somewhere between $40,000 and $60,000 a year, probably.
Right.
And you look at all these gigs that these we're part of the Department of Education, making $140,000 a year.
Right.
And
never seeing a kid, never teaching a kid.
Never. No. It's another grift at the top. You're not getting a ton of pushback on that one because even people on the left know that that's a scam.
Yes.
The Department of Education. So Randy Weingartner can go off all she wants and go nuts about it. It's not going to work. But if you think like school food programs and special ed departments are just going to be nixed, no, it's silly.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
I know.
But, we're running into this a lot. Pete Hegseth goaded a judge, and these judges, these radical fucking judges all over the country. His executive order banning trans people from serving in the military is just beyond me. That you have an elected official make an executive order, and these people can just put the kibosh on it.
Yeah.
And the executive order issued January 27th said that expressing a false gender identity divergent from an individual's sex cannot satisfy the rigorous standards necessary for military service. It demanded the Department of Defense revise its pronoun policies, medical standards for the military beyond the hormonal and surgical medical interventions involved. Adoption of a gender identity inconsistent with an individual's sex conflicts with a soldier's commitment to an honorable, truthful, and disciplined lifestyle, even in one's personal life. In her determination, Reyes said the language used was unabashedly demeaning. The ban at bottom invokes derogatory language to target a vulnerable group in violation of the Fifth Amendment. Its language is unabashedly demeaning. Its policy stigmatizes transgender persons as inherently unfit, and its conclusions bear no relation to fact. The court knows that this opinion will lead to heated public debate and appeals. In a healthy democracy, both are positive outcomes. Yeah, what it's meant to do is slam on the fucking brakes of righting this wrong. Well, it's the same thing with the border stuff, the dipshit judge that's trying to cancel the deportations. Like, well, we need to get, let's just pause. We'll just pause. We'll get in the weeds and maybe give us 3 or 4 years. We'll clean all this up and we'll figure out, once we get the orange man out of here, we can straighten this up. Like, yeah, these pauses are meant to just disrupt. That's the game plan. Just stop all this. Like, who cares why people voted him in to get this shit out of here? So Pete Hegseth tweeted out, since Judge Reyes is now a top military planner, they can report to Fort Benning at 0600 to instruct our Army Rangers on how to execute high-value target raids. After that, Commander Reyes can dispatch to Fort Bragg to train our Green Berets on counterinsurgency warfare.
Love it.
I mean, imagine thinking that the president has no actual power and that you have to run all of your decisions by unelected fucking judges. Give me a break, especially when it comes to the military. Like, Donald Trump is the commander in chief. That is his army. He by no means has to go run it by fucking some liberal ass judge. Otherwise, what do we have a president for? Why don't we just let the judges run everything?
Yeah.
I mean,
and you see that that's the game plan. By the way, Judge Anna Reyes is the first out LGBTQ plus person to serve as district court judge in D.C. And some of the headlines that I was reading regarding her were trailblazing lesbian judge, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like,
God help me if I really hope that never when my career accolades are talked about, do they describe also my sexual preferences?
Yeah.
Like, how about you just talk about how good I did at my job and not talk about who I like to fuck at night?
Yeah.
Okay?
Or maybe they go through your cup size.
Yeah.
She was a 34C for most of her career.
Dick.
Yeah.
And she was so great at sales. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Trailblazing lesbian judge. I would think that would be insulting. That is. Like, are you a judge? Like, I would take extreme. I mean, personally.
Yeah.
If they did
100%.
that, like, oh, Mike Walters was well hung and great on the air.
Yeah.
Like yes.
Yeah. Who wants that, Mike?
No one wants that. Okay.
I mean, come on now.
Come on. Like, leave this stuff out of it.
Yeah. Also, what did you say my bra size was?
I don't know.
34. Like, do I need to be offended?
Maybe 34C. Okay. I just threw a number out. It's not like I've seen your titties very. Like, it's hard. You're all bundled up.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. I don't even know what titty sizes are. Like, I don't know. Are you a B, C, D, E, F?
I don't know. I haven't been measured lately.
So she pointed out there's a cruel irony in that thousands of trans service members have sacrificed, some risking their lives to ensure for others the very equal protection rights the military ban seeks to deny them. Okay, do pilots who wear glasses next.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, tall people can't fly jets. Like, there are certain things in the military when you're putting a war machine together that you just can't. And if you can come up with a good argument about the lifetime care that's needed when you're dealing with whether it's psychological or physical, these are so dismissing when it comes to the military historically. They just are.
I mean, we didn't even let people in the military if they had like bunions on their feet.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, what? How did we get here?
Yeah. Between 2014 and 2025, an estimated 1,000 service members have received gender-affirming surgery.
Paid for by our tax dollars.
Right. It's like, and you need to put it in the context of an at-the-ready war machine, right? You're getting on a plane and going into battle, and these guys have to trust that you have their back and they have yours. Like, that brotherhood is one that I can't quite relate to, but they do. And you can't be worried about fucking Tim, who now wants to be Lisa and is fumbling around for his hormone meds. Like, no, dude, that's not the place for this.
Right.
It just isn't.
Right.
I don't mean to be rude.
Yeah.
But this, This is not whether you're doing it like I need daily injections for hormone treatments or pills, or like these are all disqualifying from going into the military to join a very specific unit and stuff. But that's what she's leaning on, is the derogatory, when the executive order, a soldier's commitment to an honorable, truthful, and disciplined lifestyle, even in one's personal life. So it's very specific. I think that's the sentence she's taking super offense at, meaning like she's reading that, oh, you're saying trans people aren't honorable or truthful, or they don't have disciplined lifestyles. I think that's where that comes in. This will lose in court.
I mean, no, you have to be very disciplined to put a dildo up a wound hole every single day to keep it open. That involves discipline, and we recognize that. But it's not the kind of discipline we're looking for in the military. Sorry.
It's not the place for it. And of course.
And imagine you can't run off to battle because someone's like keeping their wound hole open. And like, sorry, this is like the time of day where I have to stick something up my fake vagine hole.
Yeah.
Can't run out to battle. Sorry.
I know. It's just comical. And again, this is just meant to slow things down, disrupt. It is what it is.
I like the idea of just moving forward.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? What's that judge going to do?
I don't know, but I would think that a judge like that
in jail. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, right. All of these judges, I wouldn't think they'd want to be known for that. Like that's your claim to fame.
That's exactly what she wants to be known for.
But that makes you an activist, not someone who's
correct.
Like in my opinion,
when they describe her as the first most trailblazing lesbian vagine lover judge, that's exactly what she wants to be known as. Otherwise, she would not have that in her like bio.
And when you look at the judge, who can, there's the big story about Judge Bosorg. He's the guy that's like, let's hold off on sending these. What if they're not all official gang members of MS-13 and Tren de Aragua? We need to just pump the brakes here. And so he's the one that, and they were like, what? Sorry, I was on the shitter. I missed your call. Plane's already in the air. My bad. and then we got to see that dope video of those guys hunched over getting their head shaved.
Yeah.
But it doesn't shock me when I read, concerns arise when a judge's personal connections or family affiliations appear to intersect with cases they oversee, potentially leading to perceived biases. And I think judges have an extreme, it is what it is, man. If there can be a perceived bias, you need to take a knee on this one. But if you're an activist, you don't. So if you're this, super lesbian judge, it's like, yeah, of course, you're getting involved here. And this guy too. So attention's been focused on District Judge James Boasberg, who again was the one that wants to halt the deportations. His wife's professional endeavors. Elizabeth Liddy Manson, his spouse, founded Meadow Reproductive Health and Wellness, an abortion clinic in Northern Virginia's Tyson's Corner area. Clinic offers services including 14-week suction abortions. That sounds fun. Fees reaching up to $900. Don't worry, we accept Virginia Medicaid, so the taxpayers will have that one. Don't worry about it. Concerns about impartiality extend beyond. Notably, his daughter, Catherine Boasberg, is associated with Partners for Justice, a nonprofit that provides legal services to underserved communities. Approximately 76% of the funding for this organization comes from government grants. Indirectly, a lot of these link to USAID. You start to see the picture here? Mm-hmm. So his daughter, this judge's daughter, is spending her time dealing with illegal immigrants and getting them lawyers through these NGOs.
Yeah.
So do you see the connection there?
Yeah.
You seeing a pattern about what these people are? These are activist judges. And I was watching a video this weekend of Chuck Schumer, who said the quiet part out loud. And he was thanking God that they put 250, I think he said, 260 progressive, his words, progressive judges in place before Biden left. And it's like, what do you mean progressive judges?
Right.
Like, what does that even mean? If you think about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. You shouldn't even know what the judges' political leanings are.
You wouldn't think, but that's this place we're in. It's like, wait a minute. Are you supposed to rule on constitutional issues?
Right. It's pretty black and white what you're.
Yeah. Why is it the same areas, Southern District in New York, Washington, D.C., it's the same areas, the same judges doing the same things over and over.
Yep.
It's just, it's gross. But Schumer said it, he knows what it is. It's, thank God we've got them there to hold the line. The line. Stop Trump at all costs. That's our game plan.
Yeah.
Make it stop. Make the bleeding stop. All right, let's do a couple emails. Get out of here. We want to welcome Kelly McKinney.
Kelly.
I can't believe she wasn't already a member. She's a member now.
Yeah, I can't believe that either.
And she's hot. Not that that matters. Just say it. Just says
she's
it. Why don't you guys cover March Madness more, or Tiger baseball, or the Wings? Congrats to Michigan and Michigan State.
Yes. Yes,
both
indeed.
In the Sweet 16. I watched both games. Who are you a bigger fan of? Michigan State?
Oh, Michigan, of course.
Yeah, me too.
Of course. Fuck Michigan State.
Michigan State looks better to me, though.
Well, yeah, they generally do in basketball. It'd be cool to play them in the Elite Eight, though. I don't know.
Wouldn't
Michigan's going to have a hard time getting past Auburn, though. Michigan had their seeding, I do not understand at all. I mean, they were a 5th seed, and they won the Big Ten tournament. And, like, teams that they beat multiple times in the regular season and obviously in the Big Ten tournament were seated higher. And then we were just seated in a super shitty division bracket, and now we have to fucking play Auburn in the Sweet 16. And
well, for Jesse, why not? My thought is there's a lot of people that are, if you want to like get decent coverage on this stuff, there's plenty of places to go. Yeah. And I've never felt like a very good, like I can do it with the Lions. Amy and I can talk kind of about the Lions. Had Henson been here and not jerking off men all day, I would feel comfortable letting him go off about those programs. I am not the guy that has like good takes on strategy and, did you see we were playing too far off the ball on no, I'm not your guy for that. Yeah. So that's why it's like, no, congratulations, Michigan State. I had fun watching it, but that's kind of the extent of my knowledge. I feel that way with Tiger baseball currently and the Wings for that matter.
Yeah.
If my brother came on, he could go into fabulous detail about everything Wings related. Like he's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm not that guy. I kind of just fan watch.
Yeah.
So
I love football and baseball. Yeah. Basketball and hockey are kind of secondary, but
football, you and I can talk about for days.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about.
I can talk about baseball for days. I love baseball, but
I just I feel a little out of my element. I'm more of just like I'll sit in the stands and watch and enjoy.
Yeah.
But I just haven't. I don't know. That's why.
Plus, I mean, it gets kind of stale. I mean, if you're listening to this show a week later, us talking about the, basketball games is kind of irrelevant. So
it's not very evergreen.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that the radio term for it?
Yeah.
Evergreen.
Yeah. And so there's certain things like this isn't very evergreen, like talking about policy stuff and news stories like that. It's kind of a mix of both. And then sometimes there are stories that can air whenever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a mix of all that. Questions. Is Amy now the new co-host? Is Gay Etard fired? 3G not on anymore? Do the both of you, Mike and Amy, need to say literally when it's not needed in a sentence? Where's Raj? These fuckers are goat hunting is what they're doing. They're after my goat.
They are.
I'm just constantly in a state of fucking keeping people out of my kitchen, and they're trying to get in my kitchen.
They are.
Amy is having fun being here. I'm having fun with Amy. Is Gay Etard fired? No, I went through Gay Etard earlier. Mm-hmm. 3G. I told you I invited him on today, but he's working all day.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be on 2 weeks ago, and then his wife got in the way and wouldn't get out of the room where he does it. And so he bailed on us. But yes, 3G will be on. He's fine. And do we literally say literally too much?
I don't. It's someone said I said like too much, so I don't know. God. I invite anybody to try and come talk for 2 hours at a time, and try not to say a few crutch words here and there.
You said to me at one point off the air, "Hey, if there's any crutches, let me know." And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, no, because then you'll be hyper aware of it. I understand how this is. When you're like, here's the reality. Amy has no idea what stories I'm going to bring up. I don't send them to her in advance. She literally is winging it. And I literally am just playing off her. And we literally just kick the ball around.
Yeah.
So that's literally what we do here.
Proper use of the word.
Yeah. None of that was figurative.
Use. No, it was all proper use.
And where's Raj? I swear to God, the same people ask me this all the time. Look, Raj came on a couple times. Just trust me. I have my reasons for why I have anyone on this show. And sometimes I can discuss those openly and honestly with you guys. And sometimes I can't. And Raj is fine. I needed someone here that's going to be sitting here, if they're going to do it with me, that is more responsible than I am. Okay? It's as simple as that. I need to be able to count on someone that, oh yeah, we're doing it today at this time. Great. I'll see you then. Like at a minimum, I need that. So I love Raj. Raj is great. I hope Raj is in a good place. And I'll leave it at that. Stop asking me about Raj. I've brought Raj on a couple times. I'd love to have Raj on again. I consider Raj a good friend. But that's that. I think he's doing a podcast anyway. So you can go listen to Raj too.
Him and Mike Massey could do a podcast.
Sure could. Raj is great because what I liked about Raj is he's a good storyteller. He's funny. He can roll with anything. But Jay kept me in line on a lot. Like structurally where being where you say you're going to be. I'm trying very hard to be that right now on my own.
Yep.
Be responsible, be here every day, do the best I can. And I need to be able to count on chair 2, possibly chair 3 doing that too. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
NFL overtime. Guys, the way the NFL handles overtime has always pissed me off. Why, when the game ends in a tie, do they completely change the way the game is played? It makes no sense. Yeah, it does. It's about time.
Yeah.
They want to wrap it up. I think there should be an 8-minute overtime period that is played to completion. If the first team that possesses the ball can put together an 8-minute drive to win the game, so be it. I am open to any reasonable argument against why this isn't the best idea. I'll wait. Amy, you said one day you plan to be a mother. That is awesome, and I'm sure you'll be a wonderful mom. Just wondering, did you want any help with becoming a mom? Just here to assist. Fucking pigs, dude. Pigs.
Thank you so much for the offer. I will let you know if anything changes on the home front, but I think I'm good for now.
I think the NFL runs into a problem with injuries, and it's like, we made it through 3 hours. Let's get the fuck out of here before we kill someone.
Yeah.
So I think there's some of that where they don't want to risk these guys any longer than they have to. And it's like, if we can just, first guy to go down and kick a field goal and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I think they're cool with that.
To score, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know.
I don't love it. I mean, how many games really go into overtime in the season?
Not a ton.
A handful. I mean, it's really not a lot. I just don't like games ending in a tie. I think it's really dumb. Even if you just throw them at the, 10-yard line or whatever, 15, 20-yard line, and you just have them play a bunch of, or like in college where they just play 2-point conversions once they reach like the 4th or 5th overtime.
College does seem to have their rules, I think, are a little better in a lot of ways. I think the 1 foot in bounds is better. Personally, I know a lot of people would debate me on that, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Their overtime is fun. Hockey doesn't thrill people with the way they do it. And baseball can go fucking all night,
dude.
Oh
my God.
So I don't know.
There was literally proper use of the word. Nothing worse than working a Tigers game where it's like a 0-0 game and it just keeps fucking going.
Yeah. Brutal.
And going and going. It is, oh God, it's the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. Or in the postseason. Those are more exciting in the postseason.
Yeah, the postseason baseball is just exciting in general. But man,
dude, it's a different sport.
When it's a June night and you're in like the 14th inning,
yeah,
you're just all you want to do is fucking go home.
Yeah, you don't care if it's a fucking error. Just let's get out of here.
Just come. You're rooting for the other team to just do something.
Yeah, someone do something and let's get out of here. Speaking of which, let's literally get out of here, Ames.
Literally.
Walters at DetroitCast.com if you'd like to email in. And we'll leave it there. Have a great evening, Amy. I will see you mañana.
Sounds good.
Thank you all for listening. We'll see you then.